You feel it all, don't you? The energy in the room, the undercurrents in a conversation, the pain that others won't admit, but that still leaks through their silence. You've spent your life carrying what others deny, absorbing what's never said, feeling what isn't yours. They call you sensitive. You've called it a curse, but what if it was never a flaw? What if your deep sensitivity isn't just a wound, but an ancient mirror reflecting the hidden face of our collective unconscious? This isn't the self-help video. This is an initiation, a slow walk into the heart of what it means to feel everything, and finally, to choose what you carry. In this video, you'll uncover the hidden link between your sensitivity and the world's suppressed shadow, the real reason empaths often feel overwhelmed, lost, or chronically drained, and how to reclaim your empathic power not by numbing it, but by transforming it. You'll also walk through a journaling ritual that reveals the precise moment your empathy became a survival strategy instead of a gift. But more than that, if you stay until the end, you'll receive something most empaths have never heard. The exact message your shadow has been whispering to you behind every emotional wave, and the permission to finally feel without disappearing. This journey isn't about fixing you. It's about freeing the part of you that's been carrying too much for too long. You're not too sensitive. You've just been absorbing what the world refuses to own. Let's begin. You were likely the peacekeeper, the one who knew when tension walked into a room before anyone spoke. Maybe you learned to sense your parents' moods so you could avoid the storm. Maybe you became the one who soothed others while ignoring your own ache. The world never asked what you needed. It only taught you how to disappear. Let me tell you a story. There was a girl who could feel everything too much, too fast, too deeply. At family dinners, she'd laugh on cue, speak when expected, and smile even when her body tensed. But behind her eyes was a constant calculation. What does everyone need me to be? She never learned how to feel with herself. She only learned how to feel for others. By the time she turned 30, she could intuit people's pain in seconds. She could say all the right things, hold space like a saint, but when she was alone, silence became unbearable, because her own feelings, repressed for years, rose up like ghosts. She had become a master empath, but lost herself completely. Maybe that story sounds familiar. Maybe that girl is you, or was. Here's what Carl Jung would say about her. She merged with the unconscious of the collective. She became a vessel for shadow that wasn't hers to hold. You see, the empath's greatest strength is also their greatest danger. Jung taught us that we each have a personal shadow parts of ourselves we repress, deny, or disown. But he also spoke of something larger, more insidious, the collective shadow. This is the buried, denied content of entire cultures, families, generations, racism, shame, misogyny, generational trauma. All the things societies refuse to admit, they don't disappear. They sink. They fall into the unconscious, waiting, searching for a container. And empaths? We are that container. We soak up what others cast away, not because we want to, but because we were trained, often from childhood, to become safe by feeling everything but ourselves. It's not just psychological. It's ancestral. It's energetic. And it's exhausting. But here's the truth Jung would want you to remember. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Empathy without boundaries becomes absorption, and absorption is not love. It's shadow possession. You feel overwhelmed not because you're broken, but because you've been living as a filter for other people's unconscious. You've been turned into a repository for pain no one wants to name, but that can change. And it starts with naming your own. Take a notebook. Give yourself 10 minutes. Turn off your phone. Breathe. Drop into your body. Now answer slowly, honestly. 1. When did I first feel responsible for someone else's emotions? Was it a parent, a sibling, a partner? Write the scene. The smells, the exact sentence you heard or said. 2. What emotions do I absorb that don't belong to me? Sadness, anger, insecurity? Whose voice echoes behind them? 3. What part of me believes I must feel in order to be safe, loved, or accepted? Not what you know, but what you believe, unconsciously. Pause after each one. Let yourself feel it, not fix it. This isn't about solving anything. It's about seeing clearly, because clarity is the beginning of freedom. Now, one final question, perhaps the hardest. What is my shadow's role in my empathy? Let that question sit with you. Don't rush the answer. It may come as a memory, a phrase, a feeling. For some, it sounds like, if I don't feel for them, I don't deserve love. For others, if I stop absorbing, I'll have to face myself. And for a few, it's being useful is safer than being seen. You don't need to write the perfect answer. You only need to be honest. Because when you turn your empathy inward, you begin to reclaim it. You stop being a sponge and become a mirror. And mirrors don't absorb. They reveal. This is where your power begins. You are not weak for feeling deeply. You are not lost because others don't understand. You are standing at the threshold Jung spoke of, where the personal meets the archetypal, where your wounds are no longer private, but part of something older, deeper, collective. And when you walk through that threshold, you stop being just an empath. You become a shadow alchemist. And that changes everything. Close your eyes now, not just to block out the world, but to finally turn inward. Let's begin. Breathe in slowly. Let your shoulders drop. Let the tension in your jaw loosen. Let go of the role, the image, the performance. Now, imagine you are walking down a long hallway. The walls are dim, soft, undefined like memory. At the end, there's a door. It's not locked. It never was. You walk toward it, slowly. Your footsteps make no sound. As you reach out to open it, you feel a familiar pull in your chest, a mix of fear and recognition. You open the door. Inside is a room you haven't visited in a long time, or maybe ever. There's a figure sitting quietly, cross-legged on the floor, small, silent, waiting. They look up. It's you. Not the you show the world. Not even the you tell yourself you are. It's the you that never got to speak. The one who learned to feel for everyone else because no one ever truly felt for them. They don't need your pity. They need your presence. So you sit down. You breathe together. And then, without words, they offer you something. A memory. A moment. A sensation you've pushed away for years. Let it come. Let it rise. Don't label it. Don't fix it. Just feel. You may see a time when you felt invisible, or when you absorbed someone else's shame and called it your own. You may hear a sentence that shaped your identity, not because it was true, but because you were too young to know it wasn't. Whatever appears, receive it. This is your shadow, not a demon, not an enemy, a guardian of everything you once couldn't bear to feel. Now look into their eyes. Ask them silently, what have you been trying to tell me? Wait, don't rush. Let the answer rise. Maybe it's just a whisper. I'm tired. I'm still here. I was never too much. Whatever it is, believe them. This part of you doesn't want to sabotage you. It wants to come home. And the moment you stop resisting it, you stop absorbing everything else, because you're no longer an empty cup. You're a whole person. Slowly stand up. Take their hand. Let them walk beside you, not as a burden, but as a voice, a reminder, a strength. As you leave the room, the hallway feels lighter. You are still sensitive, still open, still empathic. But now, you are also anchored. You are whole. You've just done something most people never do. You've turned toward the part of you that holds pain, fear, and memory. And you listened. That's rare. That's brave. Now, what do you do with what you've seen? You don't rush. You don't fix. You let it integrate. You journal again tonight. You let the memory breathe. You notice the next time you feel something and ask, is this mine? You say no more often. You feel guilt, and you hold it without letting it run the show. You realize empathy is not sacrifice. It's resonance with boundaries. And perhaps most beautifully, you start to sense what you truly feel, not just what everyone else feels around you. You come home to yourself. If you made it this far, thank you. Truly. Most people click away long before the shadow gets to speak, but you stayed. You listened. You felt. Now I invite you to comment one word below, just one that your shadow whispered to you today. No context, no overthinking, just truth. Take one last breath, place a hand on your heart, and simply notice how different you feel compared to when this began. Perhaps something has softened. Perhaps something has stirred. Whatever came up belongs. Whatever you met in the dark is still you. And whatever truth you glimpsed, however uncomfortable, is a step closer to who you are becoming. Let the silence settle now. You don't need to chase answers. You only need to be willing to keep turning inward. Because the shadow is never here to punish. It's here to point the way to the parts of you that are ready to be seen. Thank you for walking this far. When you're ready, we'll go even deeper. Welcome back.